Behind these doors, the world's top economic minds have spent days wrestling with one urgent question. How do we revive growth and build resilience in an era of relentless uncertainty? The IMF is warning that global growth remains weak. According to historical standards, just 3.2% in 2025. That's held back by debt, inflation, and fragmented trade.
However, the IMF sees a way out.
What I have seen this week, Sarah, is really a whole collection of the impossible becoming possible.
In a high-stakes debate titled The Global Economy, Growth and Resilience in an Uncertain World, the fund's managing director shares some optimism in the IMF's projections.
We are projecting disinflation to continue somewhat more slowly, but we are also saying it is going to be very different in different countries. In our projections, we don't have recession in our reference scenario. And the reason we don't have recession is twofold. One, there is a lot of growth inertia in the economy. Take the United States. We have downgraded US from 2.7 to 1.8%. You still have a long way to go. Two, when we look around, businesses, the economy is actually adapting.
For the UK, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, says the road to resilience begins with realism and tough conversations with both markets and allies.
There are very real problems that need to be addressed. My issue is the way in which we address them. And I'm in favour of the use of multilateral institutions and dialogue to resolve differences rather than blunt instruments, which is what I think tariffs are. So, look, no one wants a trade war. We have made a conscious decision in the UK not to retaliate and escalate because we think that ratcheting up benefits no one. And instead we're approaching the dialogue with the US with sort of, cool heads and a pragmatic sort of realism.
But she also offers a new pitch for Britain.
What we can offer in Britain today is stability, political stability and financial stability because of that set of fiscal rules. We know what happens when governments lose control of their public finances. We've had recent experience of that in the UK. It sends interest rates soaring and costs our citizens dearly. And one of the reasons why my party was elected last year into government, the Labour Party, was because we promised to return stability to the economy.
However, the UK is not the only country trying to negotiate a deal with the United States. In the Eurozone, the European Union is taking charge.
We've ceded authority to negotiate trade deals to the European Commission. So to avoid the fact that 27 would all go to Washington and negotiate separately, we've given the mandate on trade completely to the European Union, which is good because it means there's one gatekeeper, so to speak, on the access to 450 million consumers in the EU, and there is one powerful entity negotiating on all of our behalf, coordinating with us very closely, but at the end leading the negotiation, which I think increases the efficiency, but also increases the ability to bring to the table a truly impactful ability to deal, because it is the access on both directions to a big market.
And although there is no turning back on Brexit, a reset could be on the horizon as the UK and EU prepare for a summit in May to rebuild economic ties.
When the divorcees, the EU and the UK, are dating again,
I know, I was thinking that.
we are in a great place.
Turning to Africa, IMF spotlights reforms in Nigeria.
And so, where does this leave us? In a world fraught with economic uncertainties, collaborative efforts, and decisive actions are paramount to fostering economic growth and resilience. And, in the words of Winston Churchill, never let a good crisis go to waste. From the World Bank IMF spring meetings in Washington, D.C., Nkechi Nana, Arise News.